Native Indians, 100 million blacks in the slave trade. You are responsible for the crimes of your forefathers. A lot of you white people walk around here like, I never had slaves. You never a slave. I never had slaves. But you benefit for the crimes of your forefathers. The reason why you are able to walk around and enjoy Hollywood is because your fathers had to kill. They had to rape and they had to murder innocent people for you to have that opportunity. Does it make sense? The Lord hates Esau. And if you so-called white people, you are descended from a man named Esau in the Bible. I think you better learn your history, okay? You are the original caveman. And this is the original caveman that you see right here. The original.
I'm in a hell of a hole. Was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road. That a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home. Only a place of captivity, save facility, hating, disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy.
As a young black man, I feel that I have an obligation to my race of people. Not to no other race, or no other nationality, just to black people. As a young black man, I feel that I have an obligation to my race of people. Not to no other race, or no other nationality, just to black people.
But there's so many lies that we believe and so many doctrines within doctrines in the Christian church. Like they say, plead the blood of Jesus. What the hell does that mean? The prophets of the Lord are being rose up again in this time period to bring back the Lord's chosen people. That's and right. To stand on our feet and be those people again. That
your ancestors wasn't junkies. They wasn't getting high and, you know what I mean, hating one another and killing one another. You know why? Because they was being killed by the slave master. They wasn't, your ancestors had a different mindset. And if you really think about it, our ancestors were stronger than us and they were better than us. You know why? Because they knew they had an enemy and they knew who their enemy was. Today, black people don't know who your enemy is.
How the hell you think we got this truth? The ISUPK didn't come out of thin air. This truth comes from slaves, remembering that they were the children of Israel. We are the children of God. And if you don't understand it yet, you will understand it. We will bring it to you. We will get it through your brain that you are God's chosen people. And there is no dream. There is no thing. There is no success without learning who you are as a people.
According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above when they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone be. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to profit.
Black man, black woman, Latino man, Latino woman, native man, native woman. You have no idea how much you destroy your life when you walk away from the truth of the Lord. You lost your whole identity, don't even know who you are today. And you got the nerve to look at us like we strange. Like I always teach the brothers, if a white man came along and said, oh, you don't know? You black people are the doo-doo people. You should consider it because you don't know no damn way. We know, we won't consider it. Why? Because we know who we are and we declare our identity, and we are the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
We good to go? It's up? Testing, testing. Can y'all hear me? Give me a 1 if you can hear me. Can you hear me? Yeah. What was that all about? Can you hear me?
They wasn't on.
They were muted. Oh, okay. Most High in Christ. Let's clap it up again. Good night. Hey, shalom, Israel. Priest and Officer Thawah Gabar. This is the law and history class. We're gonna go into some law. We're gonna definitely get into some history. We're gonna get into some current events. The fires out here in California. If you could get a story right now, man, the fires is crazy. Personally, I think they be starting them fires, but Salakia, but those fires is crazy out here in California. It looked like hell on earth. Like, you know, it's nothing new though. This didn't happen plenty of times. Get into that. What else? I wanted to talk about Roman taxation. And give brothers and sisters some ammunition. So when you battling Christians, or anybody that believes that the birth of Christ was December 25th, you have some ammunition to destroy that false doctrine that Christ was born in December, in the month of December. Talk about the Roman taxation, different types of taxation, and in particular, the taxing that was going on during the time when Christ was born. I know Christmas is long gone, but this is just something that I didn't bring out during Christmas in the class, and I want to zero in on that. So Salakia for that. Salakia for the the technical difficulty, but we online now. Everybody can hear me. Most High in Christ, right? What I asked for?
Story on the California wildfires.
Con, let's hear that. Let's hear that.
Come on. It says Los Angeles area.
You know what? I probably can play a video while you read. I'm gonna look for a video that I can screen share.
Los Angeles area wildfires updates from January 8th, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Today's live coverage has ended and will resume Thursday morning. See what you missed. Also, at least 5 people were killed and more than 1,000 structures have been destroyed.
Is that one of the most current articles?
Come on, this is 38 minutes ago.
Most High in Christ.
At least 5 people were killed and more than 1,000 structures have been destroyed as fierce wildfires rage in the Los Angeles area. Officials said fast-moving flames burned through homes and businesses as residents fled smoke-filled canyons and picturesque neighborhoods that are home to many celebrities. Who cares? What's to know?
The celebrities is losing their homes. Salakia. Keep going.
Come on. This is what to know. The fire map. These fires continue to burn uncontrollably in the area. The Palisades fire west of Los Angeles has burned about 18 square miles or 29 square kilometers. The Eaton fire north of Pasadena has burned about 16.5 square miles.
In Pasadena is some of our brothers is at,
Right.
Lahab and Asha War, and you know, Lord be with those brothers.
Right.
They are eyewitness to the devastation of the Most High that's going on right now, because you know, this wind combined with that fire is virtually impossible to stop the fire, and the fire can change a direction at any given time,
right,
and just burn up acres in a matter of minutes. Go ahead.
The Pasadena, north of Pasadena has burnt about 16.5 square miles or 42.7 square kilometers.
Mm-hmm.
And the Huss fire in the San Fernando Valley has burned nearly a square mile, 2.6 square kilometers. At 5:50 p.m. Pacific Standard Time media briefing, an official announced that a new blaze had broken out in the Hollywood Hills near Runyon Canyon.
In the Hollywood Hills. So celebrities are losing their homes. You know, rich people, wealthy people that live in the hills and looking down on all the poor blacks and Hispanics that live throughout Los Angeles, Hollywood, and all that. These are $1 million homes that are being burnt down and being destroyed in a matter of minutes. Like this is not the hood. This is where all the, you know, the people that are affluent and you know, live the good life, they are losing their homes. I seen a video where it was some people with a ranch trying to get all of their horses out of the fire, out of the way, instead of just leaving them to burn up. Right. So these are people that are affluent, wealthy, people that, you know, they did good for themselves, and it's their kingdom, it's their heaven, right? Until a wildfire comes. And let me just get this. Keep going if it's some more on there.
Oh, God. It says tens of thousands of people have been notified by authorities to evacuate their homes because of the multiple fires burning in the Los Angeles region. The most recent mandatory evacuation orders came Wednesday evening related to the Sunset Fire.
Let me play this video.
This morning, the firestorm officials had feared becoming a reality, with a third out-of-control wildfire exploding overnight in the Los Angeles area.
At the end of the day, I mean, who's ready for something like this?
Overnight, flames reaching the iconic Malibu neighborhood and its beachfront homes. In the coastal neighborhood Pacific Palisades, multiple homes completely engulfed in flames, with desperate residents rushing to get out. Planes flying above the area, capturing the massive reach of the inferno. The fire jumping Pacific Coast Highway, burning all the way to the ocean, even threatening the famed Getty Villa Art Museum. And two more fires igniting overnight, spreading to Pasadena, where this Jewish temple erupted in flames.
It's like a bad, horrific dream.
In Altadena, dramatic video showing elderly patients being evacuated from a senior center. The Palisades fire igniting mid-morning Tuesday, with the area's hilly, winding roads quickly clogging with cars.
The homeowners are saying they're unable to access any exit routes. There's fire on both sides of the roads.
We are in bumper-to-bumper traffic right now as hundreds of people try to get out. You can see flames here on both sides of the road with very little visibility. Many abandoning their vehicles to flee on foot.
Police then started telling everybody, get out of your car, leave your car if you want to live.
A bulldozer brought in to clear a path, pushing dozens of cars out of the way. Smoke from the growing fire darkening the skies. This man breaking down.
Let me just say this. Let me just say this. You heard what they said about the police telling people, you need to go. Don't try to get anything, just go. You know what I mean? And that's a common thing that happens with people, is when it's a disaster, they try to save all of their valuables and save the things that they want. When your life is more important than any of those materials and those valuables that you think you may need, those sentimental things. Case in point, the brother that just perished, he died in a fire after saving his family, but then going back in the house to get an engagement ring, and he didn't come out. You understand? Now look at this Edomite. He just and this is what is going to come to America. This is the wrath of the Most High that's going to come to America. where these people who have lived a certain kind of way and never had to think about Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are now going to find themselves on the other side of the ball. They're now going to see themselves standing in line and asking for assistance. They're now going to see themselves looking for somebody to give charity and to help them out and give them a helping hand. Okay.
Desperate to reach his dogs.
I've been trying to get to my house for 5 hours.
Later reunited, his house thankfully saved. Overnight, a high school up in flames. The fire hitting some of California's most famed areas, home to iconic houses and sites and many celebrities. Chris Pratt posting overnight, please send prayers and strength to those affected. James Woods posting this video of the fires approaching his home. Beloved actor Steve Guttenberg among those stepping up to help his neighbors.
When things like this occur, you really realize how vulnerable you are and how important community is.
Scenes of unbelievable devastation and loss as the relentless winds fueling these fires show no signs of letting up.
Now here in Malibu, the Palisade and injury.
Boyd up. Right?
Oh, so like I was gonna say, I remember Officer Regalia had said something one time. He said, "The world knows when to tuck its tail."
Right.
And this is like a time where the world is tucking its tail because it's the hand of the Lord. Like,
right.
They can't fight this. Like, the Jewish temple then burnt up. All these celebrities who's supposed to be in the best condition, houses is gone.
Right.
Now they see, you know, what we go through here in Southern California because wildfires ain't nothing to us, but not like that. But this the Lord. This
let's get a brother a hand. This ain't nothing but the Lord. And like he said, this is the time when America is tucking their tail. Right. When the terrorist attacks happen, that's a time when America is tucking its tail. That's a time where the pride of America is damaged. It is hurt. And Americans are seeing these images and they feel for these people. And these people is on TV crying, worrying about all of the things that don't matter. And this is just another example of the power of the Most High, because believe it or not, they can't do nothing with fires. They can't do nothing with wind. They can't do nothing with tornadoes. I mean, the white man has all of this military power and all of that. But what is a missile or a bomb to a tsunami? What is his firepower to a natural disaster? Right. It's nothing. You know what I mean? Because the Most High created all of these things. Let me just finish this video out.
A serious head injury battling this fire. There are also multiple burn victims. LA Fire is stretched so thin right now that they put out an all call asking any off-duty firefighters to come and help them fight these fires. And the scary part, guys, we are still in the middle of this windstorm with these strong winds not expected to let up anytime soon. Savannah?
Listen, these winds is crazy. You understand? Let me stop sharing. These winds was crazy. There's so many vehicles, trucks that were overturned last night. You're talking about 70, 80-mile winds. And that's the power of the Most High. Give me Isaiah 45:7. You see, they saying they need other firefighters to come from different places to help fight. But see, the fight is against the Most High. You can't beat the fire. You're going to have to let it do what it is designed to do, and that's to destroy and consume.
45:17, right?
Come.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 17. But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall not be ashamed nor confounded, word without end.
Salakia. Let me just, that's not what I wanted. Let me get it real quick. I do all these things. Salakia 7. I said 17, right?
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
The Lord does it all, man. You can't escape the judgment of God, the God of heaven and earth, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Right.
He creates all of these things. He creates the turmoil. He allows things to happen. A lot of times you get Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians that say, well, why did the Lord allow this to happen to me? Why did if he loves me, why did he allow that to happen? Why did the Lord allow slavery to happen? Like if he could stop it, why he didn't stop it? Because you're a hard-headed people and because you were being punished. That's why he didn't stop it. Right. That's why he allowed it to happen. It happened plenty of times. It's just this is the most recent time in memory where a people have been against you. Talking about Europeans. But he used the Assyrians, he used the Egyptians, he used the Persian Medes, he used the Greeks, the Romans, he used all other nations to be his whipping stick against you. That's why it happened. But he's the reason why these things happen. Read it from the top again.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 45, verse 7. I formed the light and create darkness.
The Lord formed the light and create darkness. The Lord is the reason why you have righteous people and you have wicked people.
Right.
The Lord is the reason why some people love righteousness. They love the light, but some people love darkness. They love the grave. They love wickedness. The Lord created all of it. Right. Go ahead.
I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things.
The Lord did it all. Those wildfires that's going on in those rich, affluent neighborhoods in Malibu, in Palisades, and nice places in Pasadena, the Lord allowed that to happen. Whether it was a spark from a power line or it was somebody's cigarette butt, the Lord allowed it to grow into a fire and a flame that they can't even contain. They need to call. They're asking on the news for other people to come, from firefighters from other states to come and help them fight these fires. The Lord did this. And you should know, and because of that, you should know that you don't want to be on the Lord's bad side. You don't want to be on the Lord's bad side. If this is the God that's in the Bible, the power that's in the Bible, I would rather him be with me than against me.
Right.
I would rather him be on my side. I would rather have favor with him than feel his wrath. I say it all the time. 150,000 people die every day.
Right.
And here you are not giving a damn about what the choices you make and how you live your life and thinking that you can make plans and things are promised tomorrow. Well, if I was you, I wouldn't make that bet. I wouldn't take that bet. I would humble myself. You know what I'm saying? I would walk around with a type of fear, knowing the things that the Lord is capable of doing to hundreds and thousands of people on a daily basis.
Right.
It's somebody that just randomly going to school at the bus stop and a car run the curb and take them out. It's somebody that was driving to work today, didn't make it to work. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody that just didn't wake up last night. All of these things are created by the Most High. All of these things happen because the Lord is a man of war. He's not just this God that is a God that, he does all good things and he's all full of goodness. He's all full of happiness and joy and hugs and kisses. No, he's a balanced God. He's balanced. And right now you see him balancing out the tables with these California wildfires. You can drop that. Now, I want to talk about, what was it? We was talking about the taxing. We don't got nothing, huh? Let me hear it. Well, let's get Luke. Let's get Luke chapter 2, verse 1.
The book of Luke, chapter 2, verse 1. And it came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed.
So a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And this taxing was first made when Cyrenius was governor of Syria. And all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city.
So everyone went to go be taxed in their own city. Go ahead.
Verse 4. And Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David.
So this was a Salakia. This was a tax, a census, but it was an inheritance tax. So you was taxed based on what was your lineage, right? Read it again. Read that last precept again.
Come on, verse 4. And Joseph also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea unto the city of David, which is Bethlehem, because he was of the house Salaki and lineage of David.
Is any more on that?
Keep going. Verse 5.
Let me hear it.
Verse 5, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child.
Okay, so we know that this is the birth of Christ was during this tax season, this time of the taxing. Now let's try to see if we can get something for the taxing.
Lineage tax.
Yeah.
This is the start of Familiar Taxes by Tax EDU. It says income tax. You want that one and inheritance tax, or just the inheritance first?
Yeah, just give me the what is the one you pulled up? What is that saying?
Ancient Roman Emperor Augustus changed.
Okay, let me hear that. Let me hear that.
This is income tax. Ancient Roman Emperor Augustus changed the tax system in the late 1st century BCE. The collection had originally been done through tax farmers who collected taxes from their respective regions based on the assessment of the region as a whole and turned them over to the government. This system was tough to continue, and Augustus switched to a direct taxation system that resembled an income tax. This began as a direct tax on an individual's wealth, but when it was clear this was too difficult to execute, the income tax replaced that collection. This is a inheritance tax.
Yeah, let me hear that.
Inheritance taxes originated in the Roman Empire and funded the pensions of veterans levied at a rate of 5% of inheritance.
So they charge 5% on your inheritance.
Right.
Go ahead.
The inheritance tax, as we recognize it, evolved from the relief, a payment made in the Middle Ages to a feudal lord when a fief was transferred to an heir at death.
Now, from my understanding, the taxes could range from between the months of like April all the way into the end of autumn, but it wasn't winter.
Right.
Okay, it was not winter time when they would tax the people. So Christ was not born during the winter time is the point. That's the whole point of bringing it out. Go ahead. About.
So I got a question. When I was looking for the articles you told me to, a lot of them kept saying that the Romans started their year in March. They didn't start it in January. Like they said, they had a 10-month calendar. Is that true?
Right.
They only had a 10-month. Okay. Come.
Yeah. So when you're battling someone, when you're battling somebody saying this is the time of Christ's birth, you can easily cut them by just saying, well, Christ was born during the taxation, and the taxation wasn't in the dead of winter. And that's not when Christ could have been born. It tells you right in the Bible that Joseph went up to be taxed. This is an inheritance tax. Inheritance tax by who? Caesar Augustus. There you have it. All right. Now, let's get into some law. Let's get Leviticus 17 and 1. And, you know, you have people that say, we're going to get into that, like the Lord only wanted you to eat vegetables. He only wanted us to eat. We was never supposed to be eating meat. Meat is decaying flesh, and you ain't supposed to put that in your body. You have a lot of things like that. You have a lot of things where people say there is no science in the Bible. So we're going to get into some of that in the law. So let me hear that. That's Leviticus 17 and 1.
Okay. The book of Leviticus, chapter 17, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded, saying, What man soever there be of the house of Israel that killeth an ox or a lamb or goat in the camp, or that killeth it out of the camp, and bringeth it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation to offer an offering unto the Lord before the tabernacle of the Lord, blood shall be imputed unto that man. He has shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people.
So it said, so it was commanded that all the Israelites, you could not sacrifice, you could not If you were to kill a goat or a lamb outside of the camp, you were to bring it to the door of the tabernacle and make an offering. Well, the reason why this is saying this is because the Israelites was just doing their own thing at this time. Brothers was killing goats and lambs, you know, sometimes sacrificing it to some idol, to some goat god or something like that. And so this commandment came out that any person that did that, then your blood would be on your own hands. Keep reading.
Verse 5. To the end that the children of Israel may bring their sacrifices, which they offer in the open field. That's what I just said. So it said to the end that they may bring their sacrifices, which they offered in the open field. Instead of coming and sacrificing what you just killed at the tabernacle, you sacrifice it out in the field. That this whole statute is coming out so that brothers be forced to come and do this, or it's going to be on your blood, is going to be on your own hands. Right. Go ahead. Even that they may bring them unto the Lord, unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, unto the priests, and offer them for peace offerings unto the Lord. Verse 6, and the priest shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of the Lord at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and burn the fat for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. They have what? After whom they have gone a whoring. So this whole statute is coming out because that our people were sacrificing unto idols, unto devils. We had you heard this before. We done hoard ourselves out, worshiping other gods. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians today hoard themselves out, worshiping Buddha, worshiping Islam, Muhammad, worshiping all of these different religions and these belief systems, except for the God of Israel, the God of heaven and earth, the God that actually has the power to bring those wildfires or to bring those destructive earthquakes and those tsunamis. We rather worship wood and stone and worship these other gods. That's what our ancestors were doing even back in that time. Go ahead. Verse 7, and they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring. This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations. Verse 8, and thou shalt say unto them, whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers which sojourn among you, that offereth a burnt offering or sacrifice, and bringeth not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation to offer it unto the Lord, even that man shall be cut off from among his people. And what said that? Just said that it's basically saying the same thing, but it threw in a foreigner also. Go ahead. Verse 10, and whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood. So now he's talking about, the Lord said he's going to set his face against you, if any man that eateth blood. And I should have got some, let me see, maybe I can pull something up, because there are peoples that do that to this day. And when I get it, I want you to start back the beginning of that precept, eating blood. See if we can find something. So like, yeah, I didn't know this was going to pop up. Esau. Damn, they got a blood bone soup. Good night. You learn something new every day, right? Eating blood. So I can find it. Go ahead. You can look up something called blood sausage. It's like a European thing. They like make sausage out of like coagulated pig blood. Good night. Like breakfast. Like it's British, I believe. You said, what is it called? Blood sausage. I want to get something. Okay, we'll get that. I want to get something that's more primitive. Okay. Something more archaic. This is a little better. Now let me share this screen for brothers and sisters. You know what? Maybe I can just. See, how can I move this around? There we go. Now read that from the top again. Come on. The book of Leviticus, chapter 17, verse 10. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people.
That eateth any blood. Now you have a lot of different groups that eateth blood. This is one right here with this white man. He goes around eating the most extreme foods. He's eating with some people, something they dipping in blood. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, this is a common practice. This was common practice in ancient times. And so since the Israelites wanted to go whoring and following all of these other nations, this was something that we were warned not to do. We were warned not to read that from the top again.
The book of Leviticus, chapter 17, verse 10. And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood.
The Lord said he's going to set his face against you if you eateth blood.
Right.
Keep reading.
And I will cut him off from among his people. Verse 11, for the life of the flesh is in the blood.
For the what?
For the life of the flesh is in the blood.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood. You understand that? You know what that means? That means that if you lose your blood, you what? You lose your life. If you lose your blood, you die. If you lose too much blood, you die. Because your life force is in the blood. That's science. Okay? We got some more. Keep going.
And I have, for the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls. For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul.
So the blood is what make an atonement for your soul. So in the blood is what is the sacrifice for your soul, because the life is in the blood. The Lord said he had given it to us, meaning this is what it's supposed to be used for. You're not supposed to kill an animal and eat it with its blood.
Right.
You're supposed to, well, I think it'll get to that, but you're not supposed to eat the blood. You're supposed to sprinkle the blood on the altar. Keep going.
Okay. Verse 12. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood. And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with dust.
Right. So if you was to, now, once again, everybody knows what happens with blood. You know, you get a wound, and that wound over time, that blood starts to what?
It dries up.
It dries up, but it starts to stink. It starts to decay. Also, blood carries what? Go ahead. Diseases. Now read that what you read.
Okay. Verse 13, and whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with dust.
He said he shall pour. You kill an animal and you pour out the blood on the ground and you cover it with dust, meaning you bury the blood. Because if the blood is just open, it's going to what you say? What's the word? Coagulate. It's going to start decaying. It's going to attract flies. It's going to be nasty. It's a biohazard.
Right.
That's what you know today is a biohazard in the medical field. You know what I mean? When any type of blood, they put it in a bag and they get rid of it and they keep it away from people. It goes in a certain type of trash can because it's a biohazard. Well, the Lord was protecting Israelites from biohazards in Leviticus. That's science.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 14. For it is the life of all flesh. The blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh. For the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off.
What verse are you on?
That was the end of verse 14. I'm on verse 15 now.
Okay, let me hear what it say.
Verse 15. And every soul that eateth that which died of itself, or that which was torn with beasts, whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even.
So like finish it.
Then shall he be clean.
Then shall he be clean. So if an animal dies of itself, like you heard of this roadkill, you have a lot of people that will see a deer that just got hit by a car, take it home, eat it. It died of itself. You're not supposed to eat anything that you come across that's already dead.
Right.
And what else it say?
It says, and every soul that eateth that which died of itself, or that which was torn with beasts.
Now, if you come across a carcass that some wolves have left over, or a lion has left over, that is also unclean. Go ahead.
Whether it be one of your own country or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even.
Like, think about it. Why would you want to eat something that it's already dead? It looks perfect, but it's already dead. You don't know if it died of natural causes, if it has a disease, if it had rabies, if it had something that it ate that made it die. You don't know why it's dead because you didn't kill it on your own hand, right? But these are protections that the Lord is putting in place for the Israelites not to do. Go ahead.
Come on. Verse 16. But if he washed them not, nor bathe his flesh. Now it said,
Salaki. Now it said that you would be unclean till the evening. If you bathed, you wash yourself up, you would be clean.
Right.
You'll be unclean, but you will be clean by evening time.
Right.
Now it's saying if he doesn't do this, go ahead.
But if he washed them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity.
So now if you didn't do it, you're going to bear your own sins. You're going to bear your own sins. You understand? So that's the thing. What we just broke down to you is that science. That's the Lord was protecting the Israelites from all type of diseases by being a clean people, by putting those laws in place. Like you rather be a clean person, or you rather be put to death and your blood be on your own head. You know what I mean? So when it comes to the life blood, the blood, it carries diseases. In Josephus, it talked about the plague that came when everything turned to blood, all the water turned to blood. Well, in Josephus, the historian Josephus records that the land of Egypt stank. It smelled horrible because you had rivers flowing with blood. All the water turned to blood. And you know how as blood starts to decay, it is funky. It stinks. You know what I'm saying? But you have people even to this day that eat blood. They drink blood. And what I just showed you right here is that's a form of science. That's a form of protection as far as being clean, not having biohazards around you, disposing of it. The blood comes on the ground, bury it. You know what I'm saying? Don't just leave it open to the air. Right. Liquids carry diseases, bodily fluids carry diseases, and bodily fluids from animals also can carry diseases too. All right, now let's get Genesis 1:29. Genesis 1:29. Stop the screen.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 29. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
To you it shall be for meat. Now, this is one of the precepts people use to say, well, we just supposed to, eat vegetables. We're supposed to be vegetarians. We ain't supposed to eat no meat. This is also one of those precepts for a weed head to say that we can smoke weed. But as you can see, what it says is for meat. Go ahead, read it again.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 29. And God said, behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree in the which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed. To you it shall be for meat.
Shall be for smoking.
It's like to you it shall be for meat.
Shall be for what else? Something else they do with they smoke it and injecting.
To you it shall be for meat.
It shall be for food, for meat. It's, you ingest it. These green herbs, these greeneries that you think is talking about the stuff at the dispensary, that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about ingesting, eating it, not smoking it, not inhaling it, not boiling it and shooting it up your veins. It's talking about ingesting, right? Now let's give me Proverbs 15 and 17.
Okay. The book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 17. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox and hatred therewith.
Right. So this is like a lot of times when you look at, food choices, when you look at, how people live, their ability to, go to nice restaurants and have good food and eat steak and, eat the finer things in life. Man, it's better to be in a house with simplicity and better to be in a house where there's some peace. When you just eating, you got a salad, you got some, you got some lettuce, and you got some cabbage, some porridge. Read it from the top again.
Come on. The book of Proverbs, chapter 15, verse 17. Better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a stalled ox, than a stalled ox and hatred therewith.
Let me tell you something. It's better to be in a household where you have a humble meal, but it's love in that household. Right. Then you have a household with hatred and guile and people holding grudges against one another. But you got the best things in life. You got the best foods that life could offer when you open that refrigerator. Man, it's better to have none of that and be in a household where everybody gets along. Everybody loves one another. Everybody respects one another. Everybody keeps the commandments. You may be poor, but hell, you got love in that house.
Right.
Meanwhile, you're looking at these damn people on television. You're looking at these reality TV shows and thinking these people have the best life because they have the best choices of food they can eat. They can go to a restaurant every morning. They can go to brunch. They can eat the best stuff, but they can't get along.
Right.
They have hatred towards one another. They have broken relationships and dysfunctional families. You understand? It's better to not have none of that and have, love in a home that is humble. And maybe you just got a two-piece meal. Maybe you might, who knows? The times are so hard. Like there's people making syrup sandwiches right now in 2025. There's people making a grilled cheese. You know what I mean? It's people that they don't have a lot of choices.
Right.
But what they do have is love within those four walls.
Right.
You understand? You could drop that now. Give me Genesis. We're gonna go back to Genesis. Give me Genesis 9, chapter 9, verse 1.
Okay. The book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And God blessed Noah and his sons and said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth.
Be fruitful and multiply, replenish the earth. Go ahead.
Verse 2. And the fear of you and the dread of you shall be upon every beast of the earth, and upon every fowl of the air, upon all that moveth upon earth, and upon all the fishes of the sea. Into your hand are they delivered. Every morning, it's like every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you.
Now, is the Lord talking about anything? Like anything, or is he talking about clean animals?
Clean animals.
Right. He's talking about clean animals. Remember when Noah started to gather the animals into the ark, they separated them by clean and unclean.
Right.
So even then they had the law of what is clean and unclean. Wasn't, I know a Christian would like to slide in. A pastor would like to slide in right there and say, see, we can eat pork. We we can eat shellfish and lobster and crayfish. Crawdads is what we used to call them. I used to catch crawdads when I was young. I remember we used to go catch crawdads in the little ponds and bring them back to my friend's mom, and she would cook them in a big old pot, boil them in a big old pot of salt to clean them, and then make us little butter dips. And we be sitting there thinking we eating shrimp, and we just living the life. Little boys though, but that's the thing. You know what? Another thing about that is like I've never had catfish. I never had catfish. I never had what's that stuff called? Crab boil, gumbo. I never had those things in the world, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, knowing the truth now. But black people, man, I mean, I know about catfish because that's all black people would talk about. That's all our people would talk about is those unclean foods being the best foods ever. Shrimp, crab, lobster, crabfish. I mean, I'm saying catfish. I said crabfish. Catfish. That was like a #1 staple food for niggas. I mean, and I never had it. I love some salmon now. I love some salmon, but I never had it in the world. But where I was at? Read it from the top one more time.
Okay. Verse 1?
No, read it from where you left off at.
Okay. The book of Genesis.
I got sidetracked, y'all. I started talking too much. Go ahead.
The book of Genesis, chapter 9, verse 3. Every moving thing that liveth shall be meat for you.
Mm-hmm.
Even as the green herb have I given you all these things.
Everything shall be meat for you, even as the green herb. Meaning, not saying that it's just the green herb, meaning equal to the green herb. Also,
right,
the green herb, just like the green herb. So you got meat and the green herb. Okay, right. Meaning not herb in the black community you smoke, but what you eat. Vegetables,
right,
fruits, bitter herbs. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 4. But flesh with the life thereof.
Going back to that, but the flesh thereof with the blood thereof, meaning the animal still has its blood in its veins, you should not eat it. Is there any more on that? What verse is that? What verse is that?
That was the end of verse 4.
Okay, you could drop that. Let's get Romans 14:1.
Come.
Romans 14:1. So we're going over a few things up in here. We're going over, science, biohazards, being blood, being you don't want to eat the blood, you don't want to leave the blood laying around, and this is with an animal. So of course, what more a person, right? Also, whether or not we're supposed to just be eating vegetables, and we see that it's both. It doesn't matter. We're gonna get some more on it. Go ahead.
Come. The book of Romans, chapter 14, verse 1.
Right.
Him that is weak in the faith receive ye, but not to doubtful disputations. For one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs.
It says one believeth that he may eat all things. So there's a brother that believeth that he could eat meat and vegetables and fruit. He can eat it all. But there's another brother that what?
Come. For one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs.
It says another who is what?
Weak eateth herbs.
He's strong.
Weak eateth herbs.
It said another brother who is weak, he eateth herbs. He's a vegetarian.
Right.
He don't eat meat. You got some brothers that do what does they call it when you fast? Intermittent fasting. That they might not eat for a day or two. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got another brother that eat every day. And whatever is clean, he's eating it. Whether it's a salad, whether it's a steak, whether it's some chicken, he's eating it. Then you got another brother that's just a vegetarian. He just eat vegetables. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 3. Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not.
It says, let him that what?
Let not him that eateth despise him that eateth not.
So you can't hate a brother that don't eat what you eat. So you can't look at a brother and say, man, you eating all that meat. Man, you gonna be unhealthy. You ain't gonna live long. You eating that meat. That's a carcass. That's decaying flesh going in your body.
Right.
They be real deep. They be real deep. Like you eating decaying flesh. Think about it. You putting something that's dead inside your body. When they get a plant is dead too. After they get cut.
Right.
ain't grass dead, ain't lettuce dead once it get cut out the ground.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to be that type of brother that's judging another brother because he don't eat meat, or you judging a brother because he do eat meat. Like you unhealthy. Go ahead.
Okay.
The sister said vegans, yeah, they love to say that. Like you putting decaying flesh in your body. Nigga, a plant dies the minute you cut it off, the minute you cut everything off, its life is going down the drain. The minute those apples get cut, they on their way, to the upper room. You need to eat them before they go bad. You need to eat those little what they call them, the little nectarines, those little small oranges before they go bad. You need to eat those lemons. You need to eat all of that before it goes bad. The salad don't stay good, it don't stay green that long in the supermarket. It turns brown. It's dead. It's dying inside of you. It's dead. I don't get it with them. Go ahead.
Okay. Who art thou that judgest another man? Oh, so like him. And let not him that
what verse are you on?
I didn't finish verse 3. So like,
okay.
And let not him which eateth not judge him that eateth.
Yeah, so you can stop right there. Let him that don't eat at all judge him that eateth. So maybe you're a brother that might you fast for about 2 days. You're like, I'm on this fast thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm disciplining myself. I don't eat all day, and then I eat one meal on the third day, or something like that.
Right.
But you don't judge each other like that. You know what I mean? It's okay to be either or. We all the same in Christ.
Right.
That's the point. That's the point of it all. So that's the point of that. Let's get let me see. Give me the precept about exercise. Exercise profit nothing.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about the shield of David, and we'll talk about King David, the shield of David. There is a video I did want to bring up. Let's see if I can find it. You got it? What you got? Oh, wait, give me 1 second. Let me just see if I can find this video, because it's important to bring out, to show people where they get certain stuff from. Y'all just bear with me for a second. I'll look for this video. Let me see. Is it on my phone? Yeah, maybe next week we can go into the history once again of the white man, since they know everyone else's history, but no one ever digs into their history.
Right.
Okay, yes, it's right here. So I gotta go. It's actually on Instagram. See if I can get this. All right, you can go. You can go ahead and start reading.
Come. The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things, having promised of the life that now is, and of that which is to come.
So it says that exercise, bodily exercise, profit nothing. You can be a vegan. You can do all of the, the workouts and the programs and the weight loss programs and the muscle building programs, but that won't profit you in the long run. That won't protect you in the long run. You want to live a long life? You want to be healthy? You keep the commandments of God. Read it from the top again.
Come on. The book of 1 Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8. For bodily exercise profiteth little, but godliness is profitable unto all things.
Godliness is profitable to all things. It works wonders. It works miracles. There's things that you cannot control in this world. Matter of fact, you don't control anything except you. Right. But there are outside forces that you can't control unless you are following what the Lord says. Straight up and down. There's things that a doctor can't do for you. There's things that a personal trainer can't do for you.
Right.
Those things, yeah, you might get some muscles and get buff. You might get the perfect body, or you might build your confidence, and you got the perfect diet, you got the perfect body, you going to work out every day, but it profits you nothing if you don't know your purpose on this earth.
Right.
You got millions of people that are building themselves up on physical exercise or the physicality of life, weight loss and all of that, and how they look, and trying to build themselves, their confidence and all of that based on that, and thinking that they can outwit life and death and say, you know what, I'm going to live forever because, I'm a vegan, and I don't smoke cigarettes, and I don't do those things that other people do. I take care of my body. You know what I mean? I after the workout, I go sit in the ice for a few hours. I ice all of my joints. I stretch. I do all of these things. The Bible says that stuff profits nothing. It don't mean nothing to the Lord. It don't mean nothing. You know why it don't mean nothing? Because you got people that don't do a damn thing every day and smoke the biggest cigars all day, all long, and they live till they 90 years old. So you got to think about it in that context. You know what I mean? It's the same thing as saying that you're blessed because you got some money, or you got a good, successful career, or you became a millionaire and God has blessed you. Well, there's people that don't believe in God that are millionaires. Did he bless them too? You know what I'm saying? So the most important thing is that you got to keep the law, statute, and commandments. You got to understand what your purpose is on this planet. Our purpose is not to just be living a life, working, having dreams and aspirations that are carnal and trying to attain those things, and never ever think about God until we have a hard time.
Right.
That's the only time people actually speak about the Lord, think about the Lord, is when they're going through something, or when somebody dies. Now you have your mind, or you in a funeral home. Now you thinking about God. Now you thinking about your mortality. Other than that, people are so proud and so self-absorbed, they don't even think about those things. They in the mirror inside the gym, looking at their muscles and looking at their figure and thinking like this is what is going to profit them in the long run. This is what's going to give them success in a long life and get the people to love them, and everything else will line up in their life. It's not. The Bible says it profits nothing. All right, it profits you nothing. Right. So we can drop that. We're going to move on. So what we covered a lot of things right there. We covered science. We covered whether or not, is it good to eat just vegetables, be a vegan, or do both? And we see that it doesn't matter.
Right.
What else we covered? We covered blood. We covered eating things with blood. We covered biohazards. The Lord protecting the Israelites from biohazards, from sickness, because blood can carry different sicknesses and diseases and all of that. Right. So we covered all of that. Now let's talk about the shield of David. Let's talk about King David. And everybody knows who King David is. He was a man after God's own heart. King David was a warrior. Let me see. I'm gonna pull this video up real quick. I'll share the screen. I got this. So I'll be playing this off of Instagram. Let me see. Let me make sure it's gonna play. Let's see. Can I make it? So like it. Let me see. I'll just start it over and see that if it yeah. Slovakia.
No Jew in the time of Jesus would have seen such a symbol. It was only in the 1600s in the city of Prague that star started to become this distinctive symbol for Jews. And now today, it's everywhere. In the Acts of the Apostles, Stephen preaches that, quote, ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon.
The only time you have any mention in the Bible of the children of Israel using a star as a banner or taking up a star as a symbol, it is a false god. It's part of their pagan satanic worship of Moloch or Remphan. They took up the star of their god Remphan. God never gave them this and said, use this. It makes more sense that it has to do with Remphan than the God of the Bible, since God never prescribed this.
Well,
I'm gonna let it play, and if it loops, I'm gonna let it play one more time so that we can hear what it says in the beginning.
Remphan being not God would then be a false god.
Well, absolutely. The so-called Star of David is, of course, a satanic symbol because Judaism is a satanic religion. I don't care what symbol Judaism uses to represent itself. That's a satanic symbol.
What is that? I mean, look at that. What is the Star of David? Is there a Star of David in the Bible? What is this?
There actually is. It's the Seal of Solomon.
Everybody just accepts that this star represents Judaism. This is the Star of the Jews. This is the Star of David. No Jew in the time of Jesus would have seen such a symbol. It was only in the 1600s in the city of Prague that star started to become this distinctive symbol for Jews. And now today, it's everywhere. In the Acts of the Apostles, Stephen preaches that, quote, ye took up the tabernacle of Moloch and the star of your god Remphan, figures which ye made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon.
The only time you have any mention in the Bible of the children of Israel using a star as a banner or taking up a star as a symbol, it is a false god. It's part of their pagan satanic worship of Moloch or Remphan. They took up the star of their god Remphan. God never gave them this and said, use this. It makes more sense that it has to do with Remphan than the God of the Bible, since God never prescribed this.
Well, Remphan being not God would then be a false god.
Well, absolutely. The so-called Star of David is, of course, a satanic symbol because Judaism is a satanic religion. I don't care what symbol Judaism uses to represent itself. That's a satanic symbol.
Now, let me just block it. Now, off top, you can see where this comes from. This type of doctrine comes from. Not only are they wrong, but they hate the so-called Jewish people. They say, you hear him? He said anything, any symbol that the Jewish people have is satanic. So they're coming from a place of not only Christianity and saying that this is the star of Remphan, they're also saying that anything that comes from Jewish people is satanic. Well, we know that the Israelites are not Jewish. The Israelites are blood descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so we're going to get into that. Let's get what you got, Amos? Did I tell you that? Amos 5:26. Let's get Amos 5:26. Now, when it comes to the shield of David, you have a lot of people that say this same thing. You even have fake Israelite groups. You have Christians, Catholics, fake Israelite groups that say that this is a star. It is because of the shape, it is the star of Moloch, right? And we're going to get the definition of Moloch. We're going to get what Moloch really is. We got the Zondervan over there. We're going to do some real a biblical breakdown, some scholastic breakdown for people who have never, ever thought to research themselves and just parroted what they heard. It's one of the big books. It got to be one of the big ones. The pictorial. All right, so we're going to get into that. And what I'm gonna want out of that is Moloch. It might be page 550. I could be right or wrong, but I don't know if 550 is in the small one or that one.
Come on.
All right.
5:26 verse.
Come.
The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 26.
Uh-huh.
But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch, and chewing your images, the star of your God which ye made to yourselves.
Right. So meaning born is Salakia. We got something up in here flying around. Born is you have born the tabernacle, meaning the religion. You have born the religion of Moloch, the star of your God. Star meaning not a star, not a ball of gas in the sky, not something, not a twinkle, twinkle little star, not that star that you make when you was in elementary and you just go, not that star. You get a star, you get a A plus and they put a star on it. Not that star either. This star is talking about a figurehead. This star is talking about, a person, so to speak, like a image, not a ball of gas, not the star when your teacher gave you a star for good grades, right? Let me hear what Moloch says, and let me hear the Zonovan.
Come on.
What is Moloch? Because I don't think people understand what Moloch is. Go ahead.
This is page 550 out of the Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary. It's Moloch, a heathen god worshipped especially by the Ammonites with gruesome. So I can't say that.
You can say it.
With gruesome
orgies.
Yeah. With gruesome orgies in which little ones were sacrificed.
Moloch was an Ammonite god, a Moabite god, which little ones were sacrificed. They had orgies, they partied, and all of the same type of stuff you hear when we go into these holidays. When we go into Samhain, Halloween, when we go deep into those holidays of what it was just Christmas, Saturnalia, and all that. That's what it all boils down to. That's what it boils down today when people go to these holiday parties. It boils down to people having sex and getting high and getting drunk and partying. Go ahead, Doc.
Keep reading.
Yeah, keep reading.
Come on. Which little ones were sacrificed, at least in some places, an image of the god was heated, and the bodies of the children who had just been slain were placed in its arms.
Just hold that right there. Now I want to give you, remember what I said. It's not a star in the sky. So I'm gonna pull this video up real quick just to give you a visual of what I'm saying. It's a good visual. Now, I want you to look at this. Now, this is on the right-hand side. This is the shield of David. Or in the world, people call it the Star of David, and they recognize it as the flag or the symbol of the people in Israel today. but this is really actually the name of King David made into a signet. But on the right, you have the shield of David. And on the left, you have somebody zooming in on a star in space. This is what a star in space looks like. That's what a star in space looks like. You understand? Let's see. Now, let me ask you, do you see a resemblance? Do you see a resemblance? I don't. This is the actual star in space, and the shield is next to it. Now they done took a high-powered lens from the ground and zoomed in on a star. Now, if you was to say that these are stars, that the shield of David is a star, well, it doesn't look like an actual star. Right. Doesn't look like a ball of gas in space. So what star are you talking about? You talking about the star that your teacher used to put on your paper? You talking about the twinkle, twinkle, little star that the kids like to draw? Well, we're reading about Moloch right now. They say that it's Moloch, the star of Moloch, right? Read that precept again, if you could. If you could pull up the precept one more time, so we can get. I don't want to lose what people stand on. You just heard what those white men said. Those white Christians said. They said it's the star of Rephan. It's the star of Moloch. It's satanic. The Israelites. It didn't. He said this. He said that symbol didn't pop up until the 1600s in Prague. Prague is like in Europe over there in Russia somewhere.
The book of
We're
Amos.
going to cut that too. Go ahead.
The book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 26. But ye have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch, and chewing your images, the star of your God, which ye made to yourselves.
The star of your God. And this is what this is how they came up with that. I'm like, as a Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian person, as an Israelite, I would think that you would be more studied than that.
Right.
I would think that you wouldn't just take, Christian talking points, Christians that don't like Jewish people. I didn't think you would just take their talking points and then try to use it against the home of the truth. I mean, I thought you were smarter than that.
Right.
You understand? Now let's get let's go back to Moloch. And the Zondervan. We get what Moloch really is. And I'm gonna put up an image to show you what Moloch really is.
This is the page 550 out of the Zondervan's Pictorial Bible Dictionary. Moloch, a heathen god worshipped especially by the Ammonites, with gruesome orgies in which little ones were sacrificed. At least in some places, an image of the god was heated, and the bodies of children who had just been slain were placed in its arms. The worship of Moloch was known to the children of Israel before they entered Canaan, for Moses very sternly forbid its worship. In spite of its prohibition, King Solomon, to please his numerous heathen wives, set up high places for Chemosh and for Moloch on Mount Olivet.
Olivet, yeah. Olivet, yeah. So Moloch was a statue that was superheated, and people would put their children in its arms to sacrifice their children. Moloch wasn't a shape like the shield of David. That's not what it was. Okay, this is Moloch. Moloch was an actual statue where people would sacrifice their children. Now give me Daniel 6 and 17.
Come. The book of Daniel, chapter 6, verse 17. And a stone was brought and laid upon the mount of the den, and the king sealed it with his own signet.
That's what when you see the shield of David, it is a signet. It is King David's name. That's all it is.
Right.
That's all it is. Salakia, let me move this. When it comes to a signet or the word signature comes from the word signet. Okay. And it's just a person's signature. Many times in ancient times, y'all know this, you've been in class long enough to know that they would have seals with different administrators, different kings' name on it, and they would stamp and seal a letter. They still do that today. They still seal letters with seals, even stamps. They had stamps back then. They still do that today. When you get a letter, it'll have a seal on it. It'll have a stamp on it. You know it's from the such and such administration, the Social Security, I don't know, the city. That's what they did. And that's how King David signed his name. Simple, right? Let's give me 2nd Ezra 10 and 23.
Okay.
2nd Ezra 10 and 23.
T- 10 and 23, right?
Con.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 10, verse 23.
Mm-hmm.
And which is the greatest of all? The seal of Zion hath now lost her honor.
The seal of Zion have lost her honor. Go ahead.
For she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us.
For she is delivered into the hands of them that hate us. The symbols of being an Israelite were delivered into heathens' hands. The menorah, the shield of David. And so they have lost their honor because now the world looks at other people as though these are the people of God.
Right.
But you see how those people act. They act with no honor. They don't have any honor out there in the land of Israel. They don't have no honor in nothing they do. Whether they, sucking the rods of babies, giving them herpes and, unaliving innocent children and women in the Gaza Strip. They don't have any honor in how they move. You know what I mean? They don't look like they are God's chosen people and that the Lord is with them by the way they move. But the world respects them and looks at these people as though they're God's chosen people. You can't say anything that's truthful about them without you losing your job or you losing sponsorships and everybody turning their back on you. And they run the entertainment industry. They're in Hollywood, they're in the music industry, and they promote for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians to make art, make music that destroys our people,
Right.
that puts out a negative image of our people. And these are supposed to be the people of God, and they have the shield of David that flies on their flag. It has lost its honor. Go ahead.
Come.
That's it on that.
Come.
Right? You can drop that. Give me 2 Samuel 7 and 12. 2 Samuel 7 and 12.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 7, verse 12.
Uh-huh.
And when thy days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom. Verse 13, he shall build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever.
This is the Lord talking about King David and the seed that will come out of his bowels. Go ahead.
Come. Verse 14, I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of men.
What verse are you on?
The middle of 14.
Oh, you can stop that.
Come.
But this is talking about Christ. Christ would come out of the seed or the lineage of King David, out of the tribe of Judah. King David is Christ's grandfather, great grandfather, 14 generations up. And so we wear the shield of David because it represents Christ's kingdom.
Right.
That's it. It's just a symbol of Christ's kingdom that is going to come and rule over the earth. We don't wear the shield of David like a Christian wears a Christian cross. We don't believe that a shield of David can protect us. We don't believe a shield of David will stop a bullet. We just wear it because, number one, it looks good. I'm sorry. Number two, it looks good. Number one, it represents Christ's kingdom that is to come.
Right.
Go ahead. Drop that, Salaki. Give me Luke 1 and 32.
Okay.
Right? Luke 1 and 32. Now, while you getting that, he said that You don't see the shield of David until the 16th century. Now look at this. This is on a synagogue in Capernaum, and this is from the 4th or 5th century CE. Now this is, of course, this is 400 to 500 years after Christ walked. But this synagogue sits on the same synagogue that Christ walked in when he was alive. So it was rebuilt on top of another synagogue. And it has the shield of David in the decorations of the synagogue. You understand? Not only that, more importantly, the so-called Jewish people converted in the 6th century. Well, this predates the conversion of the Jewish people.
Right.
This right here predates the conversion of the Jewish people. This was before they started to follow the faith in the life of the Israelites and start calling themselves Israelites. So this even proves that they are even not the real Jews. And it's still standing today in Israel. Okay. Now, you got that for me?
Come on. Luke 1:32. The book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 32. He shall be great, and he shall be called the Son of the Highest. And the Lord God shall give unto him the throne of his father David.
The what?
The throne of his father David.
That's what I just said. Christ is getting the throne of his father David.
Right.
Not his actual father. You know, Joseph was his actual father.
Right.
But it's saying like it comes out of the loins of King David. What else? Is anything else on that? You can drop that.
Come on.
Let's give me Matthew 1:1. We're just going through the genealogy. You know what? I don't know if we need that, but let's get it. Let's get it anyway.
Come on.
We're almost done.
The book of Matthew, chapter 1, verse 1. The book of the generations of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham.
The what?
The son of David.
The son of David.
The son of Abraham. Verse 2, Abraham begat Isaac.
You can drop that.
Okay.
That was the point. The point is that Christ came out of the loins of King David. Now let's get Jeremiah 33:23. Christ came out of the loins of King David. Christ will sit on King David's throne. The shield of David is nothing more than King David's name. You understand? And you want to learn how to write King David's name, you get in Hebrew class every Friday. Whatever city you in, get yourself in Hebrew language class in the Lashawan Kodash, and you can learn not only that, but all type of words, phrases, sentences, prepositions, all of that, all the grammar that goes into the Paleo Hebrew. There's some brothers that's magnificent with breaking it down and teaching those Hebrew classes. Go ahead.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 33, verse 23. Moreover, the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah, saying, verse 24, consider thou not what this people have spoken, saying, the two families which the Lord had chosen, he hath even cast them off. Thus they have despised my people, that they should be no more they shall be no more a nation before them. Thus saith the Lord, if my covenant be not with day and night, and if I not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob.
So the Lord is talking about us as Israelites, as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, because they said the tribes were lost. They said that the tribes of Israel were lost, they were no longer, and that there were no more. Now today you have people called Christians that say they are the tribe of God, that they are God's chosen people, that God loves everybody, and it's no longer a people that he once had, because they killed Christ. So there's no longer Israelites. It doesn't matter anymore. But read that from the top. This is what God said about the Israelites. I want y'all to understand this and understand it well.
Verse 25, thus saith the Lord, if my covenant be not with day and night, and if I have not appointed the ordinances of heaven and earth, then will I cast away the seed of Jacob.
The Lord said that the only way that he would cast away the seed of Jacob, the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the only way he would get rid of his people is if he cast away the ordinances of day and night. If the sun didn't come up anymore, if the moon didn't come up when it's supposed to come up, I see that the sun still comes up every day. I see that the moon still, goes through its phases. They're still here. Those ordinances are still here in the sky.
Right.
He said, unless they are cast away, my people will be cast away, but they're still here.
Right.
And so my people are still here. Keep reading.
Then will I cast away the seed of Jacob and David, my servant, so that I will not take any of his seed to be rulers over the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For I will cause their captivity to return and have no mercy on them.
And that hasn't happened, because you can go out right now and see the moon is in the sky.
Right.
Wherever you at, you can go see the sun is on you on the other side of the world. You can see that the sun is still comes up. And that means that God's chosen people are still here.
Right.
That blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the Israelites, the 12 tribes of Israel, they're still here. They're still God's people.
Right.
You understand? And let me just pull this up. This is an image of, these are two images of King David. Now what you have is King David on the right, and you have a stone that, of course, they knock the nose off. They destroy anything that shows any semblance that it was a black man. Okay, now this other one is King David. It is found in the Met Museum in New York. You understand? This is a statue of King David from 1145 AD. Okay, and of course, the most famous one is a fresco, a painting of King David in his older age. This is a Russian icon of King David in his older age, wearing the bucket hat, wearing the Kango. You understand? King David was a black man, and King David was a man after God's own heart. The Lord loved King David,
right?
And he was a great king, and he slew many people. And when he rested, he was told that there will be one that would come from his loins, who is Jesus Christ. Right. And that's the reason why you see his emblem, his name, his insignia on the shield of the ISUPK. That's why you see brothers wearing the, chains around their neck. It's for symbolism.
Right.
It's for honor. You understand? Because Christ will come and sit on his father's throne. King David.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So with that, that's the end of the class. Let's clap it up. Let's clap it up. And let me see. Yeah, so possibly we'll be going into dealing with the history next week of white people. We're dealing with them from the inception of Jacob and Esau to Mount Seir, to their migration patterns, how they came into Greece, how they removed the ancient Greeks who were Japhetic people, who were dark black people, how they became the Greeks, how they became the Romans. And now today they are what you know today as the Europeans, the Americans, the Australians, the Spaniards. They're all of those people now. They have covered the face of the earth like a virus, and they have taken over the earth. And I think that would be interesting to go into, just to give a visual and an understanding of who they are, and that the prophecies in the Bible do speak to them. Because you got some fake Israelites out there that say, man, the white man ain't Esau. The Arabs is Esau. If he's not the devil, I don't know who and where and who is.
Right.
You're going to have to help me out with that. But that would be something good to get into. Right. Hey, the water Quadash for that. Yeah, most high in Christ, most high in Christ. Yeah, King David was definitely a black man. He was definitely a nigga. And the fight is, the problem is that we're fighting a people who have been lied to themselves about who they are. And they believe that they are great. And they believe that they was King David. And they believe that they was Ramses II. And they believe that they was the last samurai. And they believe that they were, the original Greeks and all of these people that they never were. As you start to peel back the layers of history, you start to see that the white man basically came into power in the Renaissance. And when he was able to come into power, what he started to do is repaint all the images. That's in Maccabees. He started to repaint the images of, because this is a world that was a world of black people. So he started to repaint all the images and try to paint himself into history. And he did a good job. It was a great marketing scheme. But the truth of God will prevail. The truth of heaven and earth will prevail. If you could give me what is the precept that I want? It is in the truth shall spring from the earth.
Come on.
What you start to see is that they have did a great marketing scheme, and part of it is because of our disobedience. Like we can't, you can't be mad at a somebody that has swindled you just with a mouthpiece and a good marketing scheme. But part of that is because we as a people were disobedient to the Most High. Our forefathers and foremothers, they went off, and even we still go off today. We are searching for spirituality in all the wrong places, even when the truth is right in front of us. We have the ability to get the truth, but once again, we're hard-headed, stiff-necked people. We just don't give a damn if it's something that makes us have to look in the mirror and face change. We struggle with that. We would rather take the easy way out. We would rather take the thing out that we feel is godly. We would rather do that than do with, those niggas on the corner, they yelling, and I don't know if they have God, and I don't like the way they talk, and what do they got on? We would rather, do what we feel and our heart is right, and us doing what we feel has always went bad for us as Black and Hispanic people. You got it? Don't sweat it. I got you.
Psalms 85:11.
Let me hear it.
The book of Psalms, chapter 85, verse 11. Truth shall spring out of the earth, and righteousness shall look down from heaven.
And so with that being said, truth shall spring from the earth. You look around this room, we have nothing but Russian icons and images that were painted in the dark ages, that when Black people were ruling, and they make these digs and they come up with this archaeology that shows that Black people were everywhere, that shows that Israelites were Black people, and so the earth is helping our cause, helping our argument that we are God's chosen people, because the marketing scheme was so good that even white people today would face with the truth, and we give you the truth, and Black people too also, that you can't even see Jesus Christ being a Black man. You can't understand it.
Right.
You don't, it doesn't make sense to you that Black people could be a ruling class, because the white man's marketing scheme was so good. But we're going to be pulling down all of those lies. Go ahead.
Right. So if I may, I've had encounters where a Black person will admit that Jesus Christ was Arabic before he was Black.
Right. And so when you give that's the same as with white people. White people will say, Jesus Christ, he's not Black, he was Middle Eastern,
Palestinian,
meaning he was Palestinian. I had that battle. They were saying he was Palestinian. He's Middle Eastern, meaning he wasn't Black or white. He was in between. Like, he could never be a nigga in their eyes. Right. But like I said before, it's going to come a time when they're going to have to bow down to a nigga, and they're going to realize in that day that they effed up. That those crazy niggas on the corner that was saying Jesus Christ is Black, that Black people are the real Jews, that they was right.
Right.
All right. So we're gonna wrap it up, y'all. Hey, shout out to everybody that was in the class. Make sure you be here next Wednesday. Definitely going to try to go into Esau and go into the white man's history and how he was able to take over the known world. All right, let's clap it up. Shalom, Israel.